That's pilot right there.
It's the only way I fly, man.
Yeah, that's the only way you fly?
Yeah, it's the only way to go.
Nice.
I love it, man. You know, I'm like super into this.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, if we're gonna go down on my last flight ever with Keith, this is the way it's gonna be.
You're gonna look real good doing it. Oh man. Man, you're looking like a real pilot.
Look, man.
I think you came prepared.
Dress the part, come prepared. That guy, the airport guy almost kicked me out.
Yeah? Did you think this was a biplane? Is that what's going on? Like,
I thought we might be like having some going on. It'd be awesome.
I mean, maybe we make that happen, yeah.
Is this a real parachute?
It's a real parachute. You're gonna have to figure this one out.
What happens if I pull this?
Don't pull that, Wes.
Not
That's
yet.
a really bad idea.
Until you pull enough.
We don't want to pull that ever is the goal.
Well, if you pull enough stunts on me, I'm gonna pull it.
That's a terrible idea.
And then I will use my barf as a propeller.
That's nice.
Man, I can't even see what I'm doing. Here. I'm sure this will keep me alive.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll keep you alive. You're fine. No problem. No instructions needed.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I am too. It's gonna be good stuff.
We'll head toward the fences and then we'll continue with you.
Oh! I was not warned.
Any,
Final last words?
no, yeah, stay off my pedals.
I will do that.
Don't touch my stick unless you're told to. That's really good advice. It's going to be right in here.
It's awful close.
Okay? Yeah, I know. Whack.
Should have worn my cup. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yep, should have.
Thanks for the warning.
Pull out our checklist. Passenger is ready and willing.
Yes.
Okay. And then we'll latch our canopy when we get out there.
Let's do it.
So Wes, super busy guy, huh? You're like, you got Empath Cyber, you got Cyberfox.
Yep.
You got the insurance stuff going.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So tell me about what you're up to now.
Yeah, you know, Empath has been a labor of love for me. I mean, you know that.
Yeah.
It's been, you know, I've already been doing that for years now, just helping MSPs in their journey in security, educating them. And I just wanted to formalize that, right? I wanted to give a platform where we could all do this together. I onboarded an MSP yesterday, and that puts us at about, 170 folks or so in there, which is really cool. You know, it's happened overnight, and I've not really been putting a ton of gas on the fire with that and just letting it grow and do its thing. So that's been fun. And then Cyberfox is relatively new too. I mean, the crew there is amazing. If you don't know Adam Slutskin and Dave Bellini, like they're great leaders. They've been in the channel. They're like, you know, some of the OGs of the channel, right? I mean, Adam was one of the ones that took ConnectWise up to maybe 250 million in revenue, and he's just a give back guy, right? Like he's one of those just wants to help people and really he's setting a legacy for the future, right? Because he wouldn't mind me saying this. I think, you know, Cyberfox is the last full-time gig that he and David do. It's been fun to kind of be under them and learn from them. It's been exciting. I'm still new, but it's been fun.
We're happy subscribers of both, right? So
Appreciate that, brother. Yep.
Empath Cyber, we've got our VCIOs training up on that.
Yep.
Our security team, sales. I'm consuming the content all the time. Good stuff. And of course, with Cyberfox, we've been a Auto Elevate PAM user for many, many years.
Yeah.
So good stuff, man. I love what you're doing.
Yeah, man, it's been fun. Hey, is there like a horn we can like honk this guy?
Yeah, you know, we got these radios and we could call him and we could just be like, hey, get out of the way. Talk about your journey a little bit. We're about to embark on a journey here. Tell us about how you got where you're at, because you've changed careers a few times.
Yeah.
And you landed here in cybersecurity, really helping out the MSPs, working with MSPs and MSSPs, kind of like DKB. How'd you get here, man?
One thing that everybody has is that true desire, that altruistic desire to help, right? To like really help people in that journey and wherever they're at, right? We're all that way. You know, and I do like to say I'm a nobody and have been a nobody for the longest time. I was in education, you know, teaching. I was a college professor, went into banking after that. And I've always went through these like 3-year stints where like I do something and then I kind of do everything I've done with it and I get burnt out, right? And so for me, that journey went from, in just regular IT guy, in cybersecurity. I do have a cybersecurity background, and that's what I did. I was practiced security for years, started teaching security, and I'm like, this kind of sucks because the salary is not so good. And I'd love to do more, but I'm kind of locked into academia, and I realized that was not the route for me. But what was cool was it taught me that I love to teach. Like if I were to boil down what I do, I'm a teacher. That's what I am.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to realize just because you're a teacher doesn't mean that you have to go formally into like education. Like I didn't realize that. So when I got burnt out and I just wasn't a good fit for like formalized college education, I had an opportunity to go over to a bank, and I was a CIO at a bank, and I absolutely loved every minute of that job. And to me, it was a crux of my career because I got to go from, like preaching into practicing again at the executive level. So as a CIO, my job was really to realign our technology strategy. Keith, you don't know this, but we actually had an MSP that was providing some IT service for our bank. And what happened was we finally kind of got to this point where like we're just not a good fit for each other. So we sat down with him at the bank, and I kind of very nicely said, hey, we're going to move and go our own direction. And he's like, Wes, I'm glad you said that, because he was like, I was coming to this meeting to fire you guys. I'm like, okay, cool. So it's mutual. He's like, we've spent too much time with you guys, and it's just that the value is not there. Now, fast forward this a little bit, and what's really cool is this MSP has got a whole bunch of banks and credit unions they work with, and they even do some stuff in crypto. And they told me that was the moment when they kind of came back and thought on that, and they said, wait, maybe it makes sense. There's a lot of other banks around here, and we could charge them a whole lot of money, but we got to learn to speak their language. And so that was a moment for them to where like they realized, we got to change our process. So anyway, I spent a lot of time helping the bank get to a level that they had never been before. And it wasn't just me doing it, right? It was just really thinking through how do I say this? We had several regulatory issues that we had to handle day one. And Keith, I walked into that bank, and man, there were like the board members were all a bunch of like 75-year-old white dudes. And that was a problem, right? Because none of these people had email. Like, I kid you not, they had, virtual assistants that would, would read their emails for them. And I'm thinking like, how am I supposed to possibly get these guys to move on anything, not just security, but even IT, when they're like stuck in the 1960s?
Yeah.
Like that's hard. I mean, I'm sure you've been in a situation
no, we
like that.
absolutely have seen that challenge. I think, with some clients, it's certainly it's pushing a rock uphill, or, it's like clients don't understand the treachery that lies ahead. And you get the story that, look, we haven't invested in cybersecurity in the past. We haven't really spent much on IT. We've got really lucky in the past.
Yeah.
But times have changed, and there's a clear and present danger in front of you. It's not clear for them, but that's where, like Empath Cyber, the name, right? You have to have empathy that this company and these entrepreneurs that have put their entire savings, their entire life into building a company, they've got danger ahead and really just don't realize it. And they're about to be the victim.
Yes.
But, it's neat as an MSP, as an MSSP, that we get the opportunity to share what's ahead. And if they follow those instructions, if they take that treatment plan, we're going to mitigate the risk of severe damage, maybe even a company-ending event. Certainly lots of pain and financial hardship, but to be able to put that warning in place, and then guide them along the journey to get them in a better place. That's really what I love about DKB and getting to do what we do.
That's what I love about you guys too. I mean, you guys have always been an incredible leader in that, and giving back to other MSPs and showing them the way that you tread yourself. And that's why I've loved to surround myself with you guys. And I find myself asking you guys questions, and how are you doing things? What does it look like for you? I mean, even when you guys joined me on that FTC Safeguards webinar, like, I was blown away with like your personal knowledge and your pursuit of like really understanding this on the behalf of your clients. You know, that is the key to success right there. It's not holding back the secrets that you think you know. It's I'm here to share it all because like I've already done it, I know it, and no one's a threat to me because I know what I'm here to do and how I'm going to help my partners and my clients succeed. So why not help others?
Yeah, right on.
So yeah. So anyway, to finish that question you asked, the bank was a lot of fun. We did get from some real regulatory issues and we worked through them. I think the key to that was educate my board. That did not come quickly, but it came. And we got to a point to where they bought in, they saw the difference that things would make, and I really used a lot of data to drive that for them, you know, as we continued to dive deeper into like digital strategy at our bank and really kind of, you know, say, what does this look like for the future for us? I built a lot of data as we showed the roadmap of what we were accomplishing as a bank in terms of client retention, in terms of like leading in terms of technology that they needed to see to say, you know, we're able to grab new clients, and they really began to buy in. So that, to me, that was the moment that I really kind of learned how to communicate value in technology. It's something I never learned before.
Nice. Well, we're going to get this plane in the air.
Do it.
Sound like a plan?
I'm nervously, heartfully excited.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Here we go. And you know, I have nothing to hold on to, so I might just hold on to you.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
Okay.
Hold on to your legs. I don't know. Hold on to me. Woohoo!
Woo-hoo!
It's gonna be a little bumpy. I can just tell by the wind. So
Okay.
just a heads up on that. There's our 6 rotation. We will do this just like it's an aircraft carrier because that's just so much more exciting. Like you're launching off the carrier.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it, I suppose.
Yeah, does it feel like it? Good. We'll head toward the fences and then we'll do one of these.
Oh! I was not warned. I was like, we're heading for that fence.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's just like a little tease of what you're about to put me through.
It's a little tease, yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Prop 1 traffic, just a 4035 Juliet, about 320. Landing, Prop 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If I were a pilot, I'd fly like a grandma. Nice and smooth. So how long have you been flying?
About 5 years now.
What made you decide to get into it?
I mean, I've told the joke before, but you know, overcoming my worst fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fear of dying alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been used.
That's old. That's wonderful.
Airspace ahead.
That's why you got a 2-seater.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Airspace ahead.
All right, so, man, when it comes to cybersecurity, like what challenges are you seeing where managed IT, like cybersecurity board, managed security services providers, MSSPs, where are they missing the mark? Where do they need help?
Yeah, I think there's a few things that stick out to me pretty heavily. You know, I run into these, I mean, every MSP is different in the sense of like, you know, you're at a conference and you talk to one that's a brand new startup or one that's been doing this for 15 years and they have no maturity to them at all, right? And then you run into others that like they've standardized the process, they know exactly what good looks like, they know how to command their clients, like we're going to do this or we're going to back off, like we're not a good fit for each other. And you know, I was literally at a conference this week and I was talking to an MSP. We were talking about CyberFox and they said, yeah, we rolled this out to ourselves, we love it, but I can't get my clients to get on board with it. And I decided I was going to do something. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, they're not buying in on the need for it. I'm like, why are you trying to sell to them our tool? How does that make any sense? I'm like, I don't understand why you have this idea that like if they don't buy in, then you don't have the permission and authority to move this forward. we don't operate successfully like that. He kind of thought about it, and he's like, I guess you're right. He goes, I think I'm pretty notorious for I just want to help my clients, and so I don't want to do things without them approving every piece of the way, right? And so I think that's a big problem that we have in cybersecurity, is because most of us don't come from an actual cybersecurity background. We tend to be order takers in terms of delivering to our clients what they ask for, and that is a huge problem. So many other professional industries, Keith, they're not order takers. Yeah. They say, this is what we do, this is what you get, we're the professionals here, and we're gonna make this happen for you. And not in an arrogant way, but so I think that's one of the big problems that we have, is we lack a consistency across the board, and it shows its evil head in certain ways. For example, times like that when we're just not giving the client what we know that they need.
Yeah. Well, I love the analogy that you use with healthcare, right? That a doctor, a great doctor with great bedside manner, right? They're going to show empathy. They're going to empathize and understand. Yeah, look, I understand your stomach hurts. You've come in here. You're in pain. They're going to ask questions, really get to understand the problem. But if you then try to walk out of there and just say, hey, doctor, like, I just need a script for some painkillers, there's a point where that doctor takes control and says, no, listen, I've been practicing for 20 years. I've seen this. This could be stomach cancer. Like, you could die if you don't take the treatment plan. Yeah. And I understand, like, you weren't budgeting for this. You didn't plan on this. You're a victim of this. It stinks. It's a horrible situation. But the reality is that you got to make hard decisions to take the treatment plan, because if you don't, then it could be lethal.
That's right.
And it's really the same thing, right? With our clients, what we're seeing out there in cybersecurity. And I think where it can be tough is that it's really so new. Like, we're working with C-suite, with CFOs, CEOs, entrepreneurs that they really haven't had to worry about cybersecurity in the past, because they're looking at it going, the only ones in the news are the Fortune 500s, and they're after the banks, but they're not after my little company.
Right.
That's just not the case anymore, is it?
Yeah, it's not the case anymore. And again, this is another thing where, like, so often when I talk to MSPs, I'm like, I'll tell your clients that for you. Like, if you're not comfortable with it, just bring me in on a meeting with your clients, and I'll tell them just how many times we're seeing incidents happen left and right to businesses just like you. And I think MSPs, again, sometimes they struggle with saying that with confidence because maybe they haven't experienced it themselves. They hear from others that have gone through this, but I find myself resharing stories, either that I've experienced from my days at Perch helping others, or just MSP stories I've heard from others. And I'll give you one that I literally just heard this week. I was talking to an MSP friend of mine, and he said they brought on a brand new client that does, like, they build trucks. They build, like, truck trailers or something like that. They just had a business email compromise for $600,000. Small team of like 20 people. That's it. Yeah. $600,000. And so, he's like, now of course they care. Now of course they're like, what do we have to do to make sure this never happens again? I mean, this is huge. And so, yeah, I think that we sometimes, because we may not, going back to that doctor situation and going back to it being new, like you said, maybe we haven't gone through enough bullets flying over our heads to be able to talk about that with command and authority, right? Versus a doctor who has seen cancer and helped clients through it multiple times before. So you are right. I think there needs to be grace given in the sense that we're new to this, and security down market is new. But that doesn't mean that you can't take your foot off the gas, because, man, the ramifications of not doing this and not pursuing excellence and not pursuing confidence in your security and your messaging with your clients is only going to end in bad news one day.
Yeah. So, like, do you think that it's
Autopilot disconnect
better or worse? Like, cybersecurity as a whole, the threats that you're seeing out there?
2023 and the end of 2022 were interesting in the sense that we saw a big lull in some of the attacks. Like, we saw a reduction in ransomware, and that's all picking back up again. So I think we saw a reprieve for a short period of a whole time.
Oh yeah? Am I distracting you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
What were we even talking about? I suspected that something was coming because it said autopilot off. I like Autopilot.
You like
Autopilot's
Autopilot?
kind of nice.
No. Woo! That's no fun.
That was cool. Do that again.
I was waiting for you to pick up your conversation though.
Yeah, so we've seen a reprieve, but it's short term and it is picking back up.
All right.
So no, I don't think we're out of the woods, and I don't think things are getting better. If that makes sense.
Approaching altitude.
How many G's was that? Like 1.5? It felt like 82.
Not many.
Not many.
Not many, no.
It felt like a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't. No, I mean, if we go up towards the air and we do something more
oh, snap. What? We're gonna die. Where's... What? What? This isn't real.
Cheese. Leaving altitude.
How's that feeling?
What is going on? Oh.
Cheese.
What were you saying? I feel like you were telling us a story.
I'm looking for the eject button. Oh, snap.